Manchester Police have confirmed that Dale Cregan, the suspect in the murder of two female police officer constables, Nicola Hughes and Fiona, who were killed in a gun and grenade attack yesterday in Mottram, Greater Manchester, was out on bail and on the run following questioning over his part in a fatal pub shooting of two people which took place in May. Chief Constable Sir Peter Fahy appeared at a press conference and explained the circumstances around the deaths of the two officers and said it was the darkest day for Manchester Police and policing.
Clearly we are devastated today by the loss of two of our officers. I'm now in a position to name those two officers. The first was Fiona. Fiona was 32 years old with 5 years service. And the second officer to die was Nicola Hughes, who's 26 years old with 3 years service. Clearly this is one of the darkest days in the history of Greater Manchester Police, if not the police service overall.
He then went on to explain how the police officers were called to a routine inquiry and then killed.
We believe that Dale Cregan was in a house in Abbey Gardens overnight. And at some point this morning, has either himself made a call or have somebody else made a call reporting a burglary. This particular address was not known to us, was not in our intelligence systems, had not featured in this particular huge inquiry we've been undertaking. And so, as would be routine, two unarmed officers were sent to the scene. When they arrived, it appears then that Cregan emerged into the road and killed these two officers. A firearm was used and a grenade was also used.
Questions have long been raised as to whether the British police force should be armed, and Fiona Bone's father has called for the death penalty to be reintroduced, especially after incidents like this. Sir Peter then went on to explain the position of the firearms question.
Clearly we are a police force that is routinely unarmed, although we have great expertise from armed officers in our support. But we are passionate that the British style of policing is routinely unarmed policing. And sadly we know from the experience in America and other countries that having armed officers certainly does not mean, sadly, that police officers do not end up getting shot dead.
He then finished the conference poignantly reading out comments about Nicola Hughes and Fiona from their colleagues and close friends.
Fiona, as I said, was 32 years old and had 5 years service. When she first joined the shift, she was quite quiet and reserved. However, she came out of her shell and had a great sense of humour, always enjoying a good laugh. She was so happy with her partner, and they were in the middle of planning their wedding. Indeed, her partner only spoke to her this morning about the wedding invites, and fellow officers gave her advice about how to make them on the computer. Her fellow officers said that they loved being partnered up with her, as she was always calm, collected and professional, and could diffuse situations with her calm, gentle way. She was an excellent bobby and cared about her job and the communities she served. Nicola Hughes was 26 years old and had 3 years service. Nicola enjoyed karate. She was very bubbly and loved life and socialising. She was a chatterbox and was always smiling, even after a night shift when everyone else was a bit grumpy. She was a good listener and couldn't do enough for people. She was a lovely friend and a great bobby.
In response to the cold-blooded murder of these two policewomen, the police flag at Greater Manchester Police Headquarters has been lowered to half-mast, and the force has also opened a book of condolence on its website. I'm Anne Salter. Stay tuned with me for the very latest developments on this ongoing investigation at ibtimes.co.uk.